Damn.
Welcome, amigos and amigas, caballeros y damas, kids of all ages. Hopefully not, because it's 9:19. Go to sleep. What the fuck? We have Pride Rules Vidcast is back in action. We are brought to you, as always, by the fine folks in the left part of this sweet ass slideshow. 80K Fightwear. Hit them up at 80kfightwear.com. Nothing but the best quality for your tournament and lounging gear needs. You don't want to be lounging in the gi top, guys. I've tried it. It's not a good look. Only John Danaher can pull that off with any sort of success. Black Hole Jiu-Jitsu at blackholejujitsu.net and the phenomenal folks at Madama Jiu-Jitsu. Hit them up at madamajj.com. I am joined, as always, by the fight reverend himself, Tommy D. How are you doing, sir?
Hello, sir. How are you?
There he is.
Yes. In the name of Randy Couture,
Yes.
Chuck Liddell, Hoist,
Bring
and
it.
Henzo Gracie. Chris, you need to lower your volume.
Eat a dick.
We heard that loud and clear. And
God has spoken.
eat a dick.
Is that better?
That's beautiful.
There you
Now it sounds like the Chris I know and love.
At least you guys could hear me good.
Chris Gucci, how are you? Say hi to your all your female and male fans.
How you doing, ladies? Guys, go fuck yourself.
You guys eat a dick. Right. Well, we are gonna start this show off. We have UFC 217. I think we might be three of the people that are the most hyped for it. I don't think Dana White gives a fuck. He might.
Well, he's done nothing all day but tweet.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Saturday. Look, Michael Bisping versus GSP, Saturday. And then on Friday, you're going to see a bunch of his tweets with the weigh-ins. And then you're not going to hear anything from him until the week before the next event.
Yeah. Chris Gucci, I gotta give him credit. Sorry to cut you off, Tom, but Chris has been on this the entire time.
He has.
Right?
But here's the thing: Connor's next bowel movement will be tweeted by Dana White.
Jesus Christ, Chris, jump in here.
Yeah, it'll probably make the biggest headlines that the UFC has made in fucking since Connor's fought. Unfortunately,
Dick in a bowl of punch, I believe, was the term that our good friend Joe Rogan used. Right? Dick in a bowl of punch, pulling a Milton Berle. Just pop out, right?
It's sad, man. Like, I don't know if it's what it is with the UFC. I can't identify with like one sole issue being the problem, but it's like they're fucking up on like 5 fronts. You know?
Well, I don't know. I don't know if you listen to the show Monday night with Sean, but Omar and I were talking about like who could be next for Derek Brunson. Now, Omar and I, both of us said Carl Robertson. He doesn't have a dance partner. That's the perfect guy for him. You know, it'll be a stand-up, bang-out war. When Sean Teague came on, he's like, yeah, Carl's fighting in 2 weeks on an FS1 card.
It's
None of us knew.
Yeah, that's the problem. I don't know if you've seen it today as well. Like, you know Nick Tartaglia and Brof, right? Tommy? Well, they're fucking hardcore UFC fans. And I made that post about, the UFC, nobody cares about this card. It's the biggest card, whatever I said, went into. And Nick was like, yo, it's crazy. I was talking to Brof the other day, and I said the exact same thing. 80% of the cards now in the UFC, I find out about the day of. What's up with that, man?
Like, yeah, it's weird. And here's the other weird part.
Hardcore fans.
This fight's still not sold out yet. MSG.
Yo, and another guy brought up a good point about how the fucking seats are just too expensive. You go to the card, and he went to the card in Buffalo. He sat like lower level good seats for $100.
That's the Garden, though, dude. That's the guy who owns the Garden is an asshole.
Oh well.
Because like I was saying to Omar, like when the Knicks are in last place, you're still spending almost $400 on 2 tickets and sitting in nosebleeds. It doesn't matter.
Only reason I'd watch a Nets game, the only reason I'd watch a Nets game is just to see basketball in New York-ish and not have to, give my mortgage payment to go fucking see it. It's terrible. Shitty seats were like $400. I
But
said
that,
it. I was looking them
yeah,
up. It's
but that
terrible.
marketing study that they did,
If no
you
one
know,
knows who
asking,
GSP is.
yeah, that, are you fucking kidding me? See,
I mean, that's
those,
not.
yeah, but those are the
I don't.
fans there are more of them than there is of us, and that's fucking disappointing.
Here's why. Here's my point about that. Two things. Or maybe more. I'll see how I go when I get into this a little bit. Just the first is first is that I welcome new fans to the sport. Like we are looking for them to listen to our show. I don't want to bash the casual fan because the casual fan could potentially be the next hardcore fan.
Yeah, but don't
At
you
one
think that
point,
fans should do diligence about the history
fair,
of the sport?
fair enough.
It's not
But
like
it was.
GSPs was fighting in 1993. He was
I'm gonna
relevant.
explain the difference.
He
I'm
was
gonna
relevant
explain the
7 years
difference.
ago.
The casual fan could get his taste of UFC just by watching ESPN or Fox Sports, and they'll get their taste of UFC. Back then, to get your taste of combat sports, you had to be in like that cult following where everybody that was into it was a hardcore fan in the beginning. Like there was no such thing as a casual fan early. Even on guys would be called noobs, but they were still on fucking Sherdog in the early 2000s when it was like barely even talked
Before
about.
the belt system on Sherdog, that's when you
Yeah,
knew that you
yeah,
were a
like
hardcore back in the day fan. They didn't have fucking belts, all right? They just had
so
like
the
No,
double
that's
the
yellows.
that's
whole
not
the
stir
whole
dog. That's Tapology.
No, Sherdog now has a belt
yeah,
system.
you would if you made like
Get
a
out of
thousand
here.
posts, you'd be a fucking orange belt. It would just go
Yes,
up like
and it
stupid
was
fucking
before
shit.
that. Before that,
Wow.
that's when you knew you were like a
But
crazy
anyway,
fan.
that's neither here nor there. That is the point, but it's not the big point. It's like I don't I don't blame the fans. Well, how could you blame the new fans? Like we don't even know about what's going on. You can't expect these new fans that are just casual fans to know. He was
He's a
never really an
name
exciting
though.
fighter, man. He just wasn't. You
You
watch a
walk in, yeah,
GSP
but
highlight video and it's not exciting.
you walk into an Under Armour store. GSP is still one of the models. You see Under Armour anywhere. GSP is still one of the
Yo,
models.
my man took 4 years off. Four.
Yeah,
That's a long fucking time.
it
It's a long
is.
time.
It is, but still, it just makes no sense to me. And I know, we're supposed to cater to the casual fan. Doesn't mean I have to like them.
It's not.
Do your
No, no,
due
no, no. Not
diligence.
cater to. Not cater to. I just don't bet. I don't blame the casual fan for not knowing who GSP
I
is.
do.
I
Do your
don't know
due
what I don't know.
diligence.
It's that simple. I know what I know. I know what I don't know. What I don't know. If they don't know,
Well, shit,
That's some
man.
deep shit.
it's that's one way
This
to
is
put
too
it.
early for that deep. I think that's like a 10:30 type of
But
comment
yeah,
from
but
Chris right
if
there.
you
Like
see,
that's some.
okay,
Yeah, I
so
I'm
mean,
like, yo,
Chris, let's just put yourself in the casual fan shoes. So say you're Carl right now,
hold
okay?
on, wait a second. By that whole, I got to interject here. He just called you a non-casual fan, Chris. My head might blow the fuck off right now.
Put
That's
yourself
a
in the casual
compliment.
fan shoes,
A
all right?
compliment. Being
So
compliments,
you
Chris.
see Michael
what do you
Bisping,
know,
who
Omar?
you know, because he just did triple X 480. So you see Michael Bisping and he's fighting GSP. Would you not look up who the fuck GSP was to get yourself interested, considering that he's fighting for a
I don't
championship?
know that. First of all, these studies and these posts, I don't know that people that don't know who GSP is are going to watch the fight regardless. If you don't, you at least know who the fuck the guy is. But I don't know that many people care. He doesn't excite anybody. He doesn't excite me, and I'm a hardcore fan. But I'm not like super excited to watch GSP try and wrestle somebody to the ground and fucking or jab him to death.
Well, hey, I mean, there's
I
another
think
guy that's in
GSP
that fight
fights.
too. There's another guy that's in that fight too. If you can't stop him from doing what he does, then he's the best at what he does. Plain and simple. Like Nick
Well,
Diaz couldn't stop him from doing what he does.
look,
Oh, he
we're
had to
not.
go there too.
We could get into this all
No,
that you
he
want,
had to. I
but
swear.
I'm not denying GSP's ability to do what he does. He's a good fighter, not an exciting fighter. It's that simple, and I don't think that you disagree with that.
eh, I don't know. Well, maybe now that he had that time off, he can collect himself. Well, we'll get into
Oh
that when it
please,
comes time to get to the main event.
Maybe
We'll
the
get into that for
aliens.
then.
Maybe the aliens
yeah. Let's
granted him
just
some exciting moves. You know,
we'll
We don't
We'll
know.
reel that in a little bit. We'll get back into how I.
Yeah, we'll get into that when
squeezing
we get to
shit
that
beat out
fight.
of him.
So Randy Brown, guys. Randy Brown versus Mickey Gall. That's the first thing we got going on. All right, the curtain jerker for the FS1 prelims. Jersey's own versus, I guess, Jersey's own, kind of, in a weird way. Tommy, I'll let you kick this one off. Who you got and why?
This one's kind of funny. They're both really good on the ground. It's tough. Especially it's tough because Randy Brown's been hanging around Sarah BJJ, training over there. Not necessarily with Matt, but I don't know. I'm really high up on Gall though. I think he's a bright light for that division. I want to see him win just because I'm interested into who he's going to call out next. Honestly, is he going to call out somebody who's ranked next, or is he going to keep trying to call out these just a big name to keep getting himself like a kind of marquee fight? But I think Mickey Gall is going to win this one, and I think he's going to get Randy Brown late, maybe in close to the end of the third. I actually think he's going to get him with an armbar. I don't think he's going to get him with the rear naked choke. I think he's going to get his arm.
How about you, Chris?
Well, I think I don't know all that much about Brown, if I'm being honest. But
Casual
I don't really
fan.
like Mickey Gall. I don't really like Mickey Gall. What I do know something about Brown because I remember he was supposed to fight Sullivan. That we're not gonna.
Hold on, where's that buzzer? I don't got the fucking buzzer.
But he was gonna fight him before Sullivan fucking popped for juicing again.
Wait,
so
what?
I do know something about him.
That was the fight that it was supposed to be Randy Brown?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember thinking to myself, like watching the two guys fight, I was like, well, he's about to be on the show, so I was trying to find reasons to think he was going to win, but I really didn't. I was like, he's probably going to fuck.
No, because I guess now his ground game has gotten better because he's, he did the fight to win jiu-jitsu stuff. But back then, I don't think his ground was all that good. I think Randy would have been able to submit him easily.
Well,
we'll never know because
I couldn't find a reason to say Sullivan's going to win that fight. Is what I was getting at. But Mickey Gall is definitely legit. I don't like him because I don't like his approach to the game. But at the same time, they're probably very similar in skill set, and one guy is way more well known, and that's Mickey Gall, and it's for obvious reasons. So he's done a good job, but that's neither here nor there either. I have to pick Gall. I can't not. I think Omar is going to agree.
I'm going to go with Gall because I want to see the guy that took my man's soul and showed that it was some ridiculous chicanery for him even being in the UFC. And by my man, I'm talking about none other than CM Punk.
I thought you meant Sage Northcutt.
Oh, man, no, fuck that guy. He was the guy that looks like he would have picked on me in school. He's the guy that probably drove me to learn jiu-jitsu and how to work that at. He just strikes me as that dude. And no matter how nice he is, I'm always going to think that he probably wears people that he carves up in his basement. He wears their skin and shit. I
think that whole niceness is a sham.
I can't fucking anybody who's that nice to you is either trying to convert you to be a Jehovah's Witness or become a Scientologist. Exactly, brother. Or some bullshit that I don't want to have anything to do with. I'm not inviting him in for tea or coffee or whatever. I'm gonna, learn to shoot a gun at that point if I can't find him. If he looks that yoked out, I'm not gonna fuck with him. So
why can't he be like a flat earther and just be an asshole?
Right, like a straight up retard, as my old compatriots out in Boston would say. Shout out to Tyler King. Too bad we can't get you on the call in here, but I got to go with Mickey Gall for reasons just stated. I agree with all you guys. I don't think it'll be as close. I just feel as though, call me crazy, but just hearing his approach to the fight game when he was on Joey Diaz's podcast on The Church of What's Happening Now. Great interview. They're both from Jersey. And he's got a great head on his shoulders in the fight game, like his fight IQ is, I think, going to grow. You don't normally see that with guys who are athletically gifted. It's not always the case, right? I think this is a marriage of like he's in the fight game, he loves the fight game, he's gonna keep learning about it, and he's a fucking badass to boot. So
Well,
I
look
gotta
who
go
his
with.
coaches are.
I mean it, but you know this, Tommy, and Chris knows this as well. Like you could have athletes that are tremendous athletes, but then if you get an athlete who's phenomenal and then he does study the playbook as well, then it's a whole another fucking story. Then it becomes like he's
Yeah.
going to maximize whatever natural gifts he has. And I think Mickey Gall
And
is
that's
poised to
good that
do
you said athlete because it's not even in fighting. That's in everything. You
exactly
know.
right. The guy who's studying the game and loves the game and is obsessed with the game as well. I think he's taken that from his coach. He has tremendous coaches. That's great, Tommy. That's a great point. I think he's going to come with that sort of fire. And every fight, I think we're going to see him like, holy shit, we haven't even seen his final form. Jesus Christ, it's now Mickey
Hmm.
Gall 2.5, 2.6, whatever it is. So I hope he, and you know, I hope he, what I do love though, really quickly, is the type of fights they're giving him in the UFC. Like, I like that they're not leapfrogging this bastard because I want to see him have that time to
Climb,
progress and
climb the
to
ladder.
polish, right? So that he could potentially challenge for a title, maybe at the end of 18 or
He's
middle of 19, even.
He's still
he's
young
tough to
too, man.
look
He's
that
still
he's gonna be
young.
around for a while because his bread and butter is ground game. And if
And
you're a
not getting
tough
hit,
guy,
right?
yeah, if you're a tough guy and like that's where you're, the minute you get in trouble, you have that to lean on. It makes you hard out, and I mean, he's just and he's big. He seems
Mm-hmm.
like a big.
Plus, he doesn't really have that many fights, like from
No, he's 4
amateur
0.
through pro. You know what I
And
mean?
his amateur is not a Mexican amateur career where, you know, he
Yeah.
had 700 fights, or Khabib's amateur career where he's fighting fucking barnyard animals and bears and shit, you know, in the tundra. So,
Yeah, half of Khabib's fucking amateur pro career is pretty much like an amateur career.
well, I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, but his amateur
but
career
that's a
was
different topic.
tremendous.
16 wins before he even got to the.
I know you're thinking he's a little Fedor tomato can crusher. I get it, but let's go with the next one here. I know next we have Corey Anderson versus Ovince St. Preux. I'll start it up with Chris on this one. Who you got and why, brother?
I got St. Preux just on sheer athleticism, but I don't know. Anderson, I don't know. Until I see this dude winning this fight that he's, not supposed to win, or a big fight, I should say, against a top guy, that just shows you the weight class, man. I got St. Preux, just he's too athletic, and he's been in there with, like, he just got the experience.
What about you, Tommy?
Yeah, this one's weird. Um, Oven St. Preux, he's very unorthodox and he's powerful as shit. But I think Corey's wrestling pedigree is going to be too good if Corey can get inside of his range.
Mm-hmm.
He's he's long, he's lengthy, and I guess you could kind of, give Oven St. Preux a little pat on the back. Hey, you went the distance with John Jones, but it was a clean John Jones.
Don't give yourself too much of a pat on the back. He will give you the Von Flu choke if you get your arm
Yeah,
in that position again. It's fucking
yeah.
dead
So
to
that's
rights.
and there's that too.
He's slick, man.
I tell you.
He is, but I think Corey's wrestling's, if it gets to the ground, is going to be better than Oven St. Preux's ground game, just because of how long Corey's been wrestling for and things like that. St.
Yeah,
Preux is a football
I
player.
don't. I don't think that that's the thing. I don't think that he's going to try and play the ground game. If he goes there, he's going to just his one objective is going to be to get up, and it's tough to keep a guy down that's just trying to get up. That's more athletic than you. I don't care what you are, because he's not like he's not trained in how to get up.
Yeah,
It's going to
but
be tough. I just see that being a
Anderson's
lot
a
of
decorated
scrambles.
wrestler. That's just where I'm going with that. If he's able to get inside, get him in the clinch, and able to take him
Well, I think
down,
that's probably the key to the fight. Then, if he's going to
it
be
has
able
to
to
be.
take him
Yeah,
down, I believe he's going to be able to take him down. Is he going to be able to keep him down? Because if he keeps getting up right away, it's just going to be a lot of work for nothing.
but like
Unless he
Matt
just has
Sarah
the
was,
cardio there.
well, yeah,
Yeah.
but like Matt Sarah was saying when he fought GSP, the constant getting back up when you get taken down just takes everything out of you. And if you keep getting taken down and back up, it's going to zap your
Yeah.
gas tank no
But
matter who you are.
Soda's trying to take someone down that has a good sprawl that you might eventually get it. There's a lot of give and take there. That's grueling. That's why it might come down to conditioning in this one. I have a feeling that what you're right. He's gonna try and make it dirty and just stay tight and not give him any space. That's how he has to fight.
Yeah, he can't stand with him. St. Prue's he's too rangy. You know what I mean? You don't want to sit on the end of that jab all night.
Yeah, but that's dangerous though, man. He's got that. When you go in on a double and he gets a good sprawl, he could strangle you from that position too. He's got weird chokes. St. Preux.
but I'm gonna go. I'm gonna say Corey takes it by decision. I'll go with Corey by decision.
I gotta go
So
with
you're saying St. Preux has what it
yeah.
takes to lose a decision?
I say yeah,
Yep.
he's OSP thing. Yeah. I'm excited at the fact that a man with a palm tree tattooed above his titty is going to be out on national television with his shirt off again. So the Caribbean Islander in me just gravitates towards that. So OSP is my boy as far as I'm concerned. Anybody who hits a Von Flue choke a choke that you really shouldn't hit on anybody.
Yeah.
Everybody knows. Like this is one of those things where it's like, congratulations, you fucking choked yourself. Those arms and those chokes and that distance. If it is a Corey Anderson victory, I think it's going to be a boring decision, like a grinding decision. So I think maybe my heart is telling me I want OSP to win, just because I'd like to see a bit more of an exciting fight. Both of them are very capable of losing a decision, though. I have to go Chris and Tommy a little bit on that. So, but I'm going to go with OSP by palm tree above the right nipple.
There you go.
I'm going with it. So next up, we have Mark, the Hand of God Beer. This motherfucker. Somebody tell him that. Yeah, and versus Walt Harris. We'll start it up with Tommy this time. Who you got and why?
Wow, Walt Harris is fighting pretty quick, huh?
Right.
Yeah, I was gonna say, didn't
he goes from getting tapped out from Verdum like 3 weeks ago to fighting a dude that Justin Ledette fucking made tap in under 2 minutes. I'm gonna go with Walt Harris, just because he's got balls of steel for stepping in there against Verdum when the UFC needed it.
Meaty clackers.
Yeah, Godbeer has zero ground skills whatsoever. So I think Walt Harris is just going to have to take it to the ground and then just do work from there. So I think Walt Harris is going to win by TKO. Going to get stopped on the ground.
What about you, Chris?
Well, I feel like the UFC is kind of rewarding Harris. He really didn't, you know, come away with much damage in the Verdum fight. That shit was rather quick, and he's in shape. I feel like they gave. I'm not sold on God Beer at all in any way, shape, or form.
He's in shape. That's a nice way of taking a peek at God Beer and being like he ain't.
He is a shape.
Right. Round.
No,
What the
in
fuck
shape.
he is.
He's a shape. No, I'm sure he's in shape. I don't want to knock his cardio or whatever. I mean, the guy's tough as nails. He takes a beating, but I'm pretty sure he's going to get one. So it works out.
Chris with these low key burns. It's like polite, but just fucking flaming.
It's the backhanded burn.
Swear to God, this guy's got a pimp hand strong.
Pull the string on that motherfucker.
You did, yeah, but bang, you're right there and just wind him up, let him go. You know who Mark Godbeer isn't? He's not Fabricio fucking Verdum. So I think Walt Harris has a much better chance on the ground with my guy here. So,
well, yeah, dude, he's got no ground at all. He's just a boxer.
But you know what? Comparatively, all of us have grappled, right, in amateur ranks. You grapple a really nasty person, and then suddenly you grapple somebody who's not, right? And you feel like, holy shit, this is, it was like I was drowning before, and now I'm just on a nice raft.
This is easier than I thought it was.
Going down the lazy river.
The mental aspect of it.
Yeah.
You don't gas as fast. Like there's so much that goes into that. The stress brings you down, bro. And like
you dump. That adrenaline dump probably was hitting Walt Harris.
I'll tell you what you're gonna do. You're going against a guy like Verdum. Nothing. There's nothing you're gonna do.
No.
if you're not at that level.
You're just gonna curl up like one of those Marty cones. And just take a fucking just take that L. Hold that. That's really all Verdum did in that fight. He's like, hold this, my man, and just bang, took the fucking armbar and said, it's over. So Walt Harris, again, also by meaty clackers. Dude's got a crazy set.
The only person that's picked someone different so far was Tommy once.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because
Corey.
he's a contrarian. He's a contrarian like that. And you know what? He might end up winning, this icebreaker stuff, or we all might end up losing. After the last event, where all like 7 out of 8 underdogs took it. Fucking UFC is crazy this way. But
Well, I know where I'm gonna pick different than used to at least once in this.
I know, me too. And I
Yeah.
think I have something up my sleeve here. I know you're going for Hendricks. So, yeah. Anyway, fuck it. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. Okay, so next one, we have Joe Duffy versus James the Texecutioner Vic. I just love saying his name. He looks like a pterodactyl in this photo. It's bad angles. Chris, what do you got? Who do you got and what?
I mean,
Pterodactyl.
Duffy's claim to fame is the whole Connor thing. But Vic is good. Got nice hands, man. He was on the Ultimate Fighter. I remember him having Chris boxing, and he's definitely, that was years ago. So he's been training a while. He's probably got a good like almost 8 years of jiu-jitsu under his belt. So it's gonna be a good fight. But I'll go with the Irish dude just based on the fact that he's Irish and so am I. It's even.
It's
So
as
I got
good
him
as my
for a
palm
win
tree.
somewhere.
That's as
I
good
think
as my
that's gonna
palm
be
tree.
potentially fight of the night though. It really might be.
They're
That's
both
a sleeper.
gamers right
That's a
there,
sleeper fight. They're gonna bang,
bro.
bro.
Tommy.
Well played, oh. Well
Hey.
played, my friend.
I try. Tommy, what do you got?
I'm gonna go with the non-Irish guy.
Wow.
Shocker.
Jesus.
just for
Telling you.
Chris.
That's terrible. Then you're going to tell the Irishman to go be a police officer because that's all he's good for, right? Are we going this far, this deep?
Go
Fucking
drive the
this
paddy
early?
wagon. Let's go,
Seriously.
Mickey.
Omar.
Let's go.
It's terrible.
Oh no, it actually might not play out. Omar could
No,
guarantee
I
victory.
No, it's like Chris said. It's definitely going to be a good fight. But yeah, I'm not like totally sold on Duffy.
Me neither. But you can't possibly be totally sold on James Vick either.
No, I'm not. But in the
It's just Chris's face. He's like, yo, be honest with me, bro. Don't try to fuck
I mean, if we're being honest with each other, which I like to think by this point in time we are.
yeah, no, it's just, to keep it diverse. I'll go with Vic. I'll
Fair
go with
enough.
Vic.
At least
I'll
we
go
know.
with Vic.
You know what I like about this show? Is that we come to terms with the fact, like, if we really, like, this one's a toss-up, so I'm going to tell you why I'm picking him.
For sure.
He's Irish, and you're like, and it's literally because he's not Irish. Like,
Yeah.
I picked the dude based on his tattoo. I did the chick move of the whole show. Like, oh, he has nice shorts. I'm going to pick, this guy. Like
I'm surprised Tommy didn't just say, I'm picking Gall because he's white.
No, I love how he said, oh, man, this is a really interesting one to the only fight with 2 black people fighting each other. I didn't want to bring it up. Be like, interesting how, Tom? Like, just because it's 2, come on, Tom. But, no, these
It's
two
not
guys,
10:30 yet. It's not 10:30 yet.
This is true. These 2 guys, what makes me think that it's going to be fight of the night potential is that they're both ugly as shit. So, the old saying goes that.
Well, he's Irish, so yeah.
Well, hey, I didn't want to go there. I'm just saying that they both look like some salty veterans. Their records speak of much experience, and you know what they say: you don't pick a fight with the ugly dude at the bar. Never. Got nothing to lose. He's obviously been around the block a couple times. He doesn't give a fuck, Let loose the dogs of war. But that being said, I gotta go with my man Duffy.
With Tommy, I bet.
Oh, God damn it.
I'm not the one who lives in the gym there.
Hey, man.
You're buffing up for those bar fights.
He's doing 10 sets of 10 to work on his fitness, like Joel Ortiz. But I got to go with Duffy, only because I feel like if it becomes a firefight, I think that Duffy has a bit more of a chin. At least from the angles here, looks like James Vick literally has no chin. The photographer.
Yo, me and Tommy just gave you a round of applause simultaneously.
Just look. It's terrible. It's shading and lights. I'm not a pro photographer, but this poor bastard got no favors from the media crew at the UFC. So I'm gonna go with Duffy by camera angle, and we're just throwing out random shit. Here, I love it. So now back to but you know what? Real quick. I think the UFC also thinks this fight is going to be a banger because of the positioning they have it on the prelims, right? They have it as right before the main card, so they're going to try to drum up some moribund sales with hopefully two people just beating the shit out of each other. So who knows? But moving on to the first fight of the main card, I'm going to try to pronounce my man's name because Tommy does such a good job with me. So Paulo Borrachinha versus my man Johnny, big, little, medium, whatever the fuck size rig he is. Hendricks, Tommy, take it away. Tell us who's gonna.
He's the hugest rig, by the way.
He's the biggest rig. I
I
swear it's
think
like a
I
children's
think
book.
I think Hendricks is going to lose by cholesterol poisoning.
God, that's by
I
diabetes.
I don't think he's going to make it to the scale, man.
Oh my
No,
God.
Bortacini is going to beat him. Hendricks is a fucking shell of what he used to be.
Padded shell.
Yeah.
Unless he fucking pops after the fight or something.
Not giving a fuck, just juice to the tits, right? Just
Yeah.
That's what I'll say. If Hendricks wins, just be on the lookout for that news. Because this dude's gonna fucking steamroll his ass, I think.
If Hendricks gets on the scale shredded like John Jones was, you know something is up.
Yo, there's some good prospects, and that's what the fucking shame of this UFC shit is, man. There's some fucking guys that need to be promoted. There's some potential stars out there, and it's like, you know, it's just
Borrachinha looks like a South American G.I. Joe doll. Like, so I'm feeling like they could fucking push this dude. He looks like fucking Sao Paulo Ken, right? He just look at him.
I wouldn't.
The fuck is that?
I don't know. It's just
who did he just beat
Ken
the shit out of? He just fucked somebody up really bad. Who did he fight?
INS?
Where's the goddamn mute button, you son of a bitch?
I don't even. I got no comment. He's an animal.
What INS and he won. He made it to New York. He's safe. It's north enough. Ask Harriet Tubman. And you know, once you got this north, you were fine. I read the books.
All right, I gotta check that though.
Yeah. Nah. So yeah, please fact check us because I do not think he fought INS. I don't know if if INS goes, that far south. But yeah, so Tommy, I think what Borrachinha, by freedom fight, I guess. I don't know.
I think he's gonna knock Hendricks out, and I think it's gonna be like in the third round. I think Hendricks is gonna get tired, and I think Borrachinha is gonna just fucking put him out, and referee's gonna stop it.
I hear you. I don't disagree. While Chris is looking that up, I'm gonna just chime in real quick with who I think. First off, Johnny Hendricks, even in this idealized picture on the website here, he looks fat as all balls. All right, I don't know what the hell he's doing. It looks like they caught him in a before photo for like some weight loss program. Like, yo, he looks sad. He's got the big beard, and he's just like,
The Biggest Loser.
That's what I'm saying. Like, no, he you know what? He looks like a success from The Biggest Loser because those guys, they lose like 600 pounds, and if they end up looking like Johnny Hendricks,
they're happy.
Thumbs up. That's what I'm saying. And I'm not hating on that. What I am hating on the fact is that this guy had all the skills in the world. The last time he was on the same fight card as GSP, we all arguably thought that he fucking took it from GSP.
No.
It could be. It
I
could
don't
be
agree.
argued.
I think that GSP won that fight on points, but it was a very boring.
But it was a much closer than I thought. I mean, at least you can give us that. Like that was. Why do I think that happened?
I told you, dude. I had to keep watching that fight again because at first I thought that GSP lost, but I kept watching the fight and I watched it a couple times. I'm like, all right, I can see how they gave it to GSP. Over Hendricks.
I'll say this: that fight alone, not alone, but that's one of the major reasons why the fucking scoring system needs to be fixed in the UFC, and not even just the way they're scoring the round. I'm just saying the actual format of the fight, where it's like 10-9, like that whole the guy that wins the fight doesn't always win, and I think that's a problem.
Well put. That was
look at the 5 rules, baby.
Yeah, but look at the Nate and Connor fight. Nate, technically, numbers wise, CompuBox numbers, had more than Connor.
The only thing
And
that I think that the round should be factored into is that it separates. It gives you a break. They shouldn't be like, oh, he won this 5 minute set. Like, no, fuck that. Like, judge the fight. 10-9 the whole fight. Do that.
I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you at all.
10-9 that whole motherfucker.
So
Chris,
yeah,
who
do you
do
got?
you have winning?
I already said. We're still talking about Hendricks getting his ass beat.
Okay,
Well,
so you're picking Bortolini too.
Unless he
there we go.
fucking pops, he's gonna get smoked. This dude looked crazy, fucking scary, and he fought Adewale Bamgoche.
Bambuzi, the
Bamgozi.
Holy War Angel.
Yeah, and that
That's
dude's
not
got some talent
ironic.
too.
That's legit his
And he
his
was,
his
he's like
his
super
thing.
athletic.
Yeah,
and
that's the guy who
he's
fought. He beat Shammy. Shammy's first pro fight in Ring of Combat.
He also fought Satan and won on points, thus earning the nickname the Holy War Angel. Just want to throw
yeah,
that
but
out.
that dude's a he's really super athletic with some fucking crazy strikes too, and he got dealt with. You know, Borachina or whatever his name is, Paolo, and I'd fuck up anybody pretty much.
There we go. Guy who can't even do a proper fucking pull up.
This guy, I can't do. First of all, that was after like 30 fucking pull-ups.
Oh
Right?
yeah.
That was a lot of kipping.
And
That's all I gotta say. But moving on.
I disagree. Actually, I've looked. You're wrong.
There's a lot of momentum involved. I'm not a flat earther, but just look into it, bro. I'm saying.
Talking about pulling the string with these subtle burns, Omar.
Hey,
Got me.
hey, you were getting too much thumbs up from all your fans on that video. They were checking out your calves, your bull heart calves.
I was
So-
actually getting flamed on that video
Nah, I was trying
by
to.
Tommy.
Yeah, and I think I liked a couple of his comments like an asshole. I didn't say dick. I just came in and liked a couple of his, and I was like, I'm out. And then
Tommy's like, you didn't do a proper pull-up. I'm like, Tommy, you can't do a pull-up. So,
no, and then Chris knows though. Chris is like, this motherfucker's just liking Tommy's fucking hate, and then he bounces like a fucking puss. Yeah,
it's all
that
love.
is my
It's all
move.
love. I could take that shit. That's no big deal. When I post
sure.
things like that, I expect it. So.
Well, of course. I mean, but
That's why I don't post pictures when I'm in the gym or if I'm at jujitsu.
Well, you actually have to be at the gym to
oh
be able to take a picture at the gym.
You're right.
So,
fucking,
You're right.
that's terrible.
It's true.
I saw Spider Guard the other day. I'm a believer. So
yeah, I saw fucking 40 pounds less too.
Yeah.
I don't want to say
That was a long time ago.
Fucked up, you guys. Fucked up.
That was 170
All
pounds
right.
right there.
I'm fighting that battle myself. All right, guys. I'm 20 pounds lighter.
Mm.
Anyway, Joanna Jędrzejczyk, finally the first championship fight. They're trying to push the card. They got 3 championship fights. We always complain about some light, weak ass cards, and when they put 3 on the hot stove like this, on the back burner of that stove, nobody can apparently seem to sell a ticket. But you got Joanna Jędrzejczyk, Joanna Champion, Joanna Violence, Master of Mental Arts as well. Let's get into that a little bit today. Versus Rose, Thug Rose, and Namajunas. Let's start with Chris. What do you got, brother?
I love Rose, but let's be real here.
You're not picking
I
Justin
really do
Bieber?
enjoy watching Rose. Forget the Bieber. Forget the picture. Forget what she looks like. We're talking about her as a fighter. First of all, the answer is yes to Rose. Just full disclosure before I, get into how her fight.
What I do think is that I think Chris can do better pull-ups than Pat Barry. I'll give him that one.
Definitely.
I have
And
Pat's so bottom
Thug
heavy.
Rose could get it. We'll just
Those
get that out of the
facts.
way, right? But,
Yeah.
she's this exciting fighter, but she's got no shot. None. This Joanna chick, this Joanna Jędrzejczyk champion chick, is a fucking. There's something about her that is like I wouldn't fight her, and she's 115, and I'm a fucking man.
I'm all man.
I'm a man, baby.
Oh man, and she's a little girl, and I would not want to fucking get hit with that.
Lift my shirt and it's all mammal. That's what he's got to say. So tell me, Yeah. No, what do you got, Chris? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
That
off. I
what
didn't
you were
know.
getting into, the warfare where she was like at the Madison Square Garden and she
Yeah,
like cut all the roses and then she threw like some weird elbow that or whatever from the Matrix.
yeah.
Those combos are from the Matrix, yo. They were.
Here's the Tim Spooney. Here's the thing. This one's hard for me. If this was 2 weeks ago, I would be going with Joanna, 100%. But after her comments about, uh, the Rose's mental health after being like sexually abused her whole life, I think that might have lit a fire under Rose's ass that we might not have seen yet.
Mm.
You know, I don't. Yeah, it's this one's tough for me. Half of me says Joanna's gonna take it, and then another half of me says we're gonna see an upset. I don't know why. I don't know what it is, but I just think Joanna might
She has some
might
sick
put herself
flying
out there.
submissions. Like that's her best chances to like catch her with one of those crazy ass submissions, because Rose does have a fucking sick attack.
Now you know what's crazy for the whole time that she was with Pat Barry, you think she would have taught him some fucking jujitsu,
Mm.
just a little bit of jujitsu that he could have used. Um, man, God, I don't want to pick this one, but I'm sure the two of you are gonna pick Joanna, so I can't even believe I'm saying this. I'm gonna say Thug Rose wins by a Hail Mary Jiu-Jitsu.
Mm.
I have to disagree with,
Reverend,
the Reverend.
Reverend,
Don't exactly. He's blessing
Tommy, I
that.
hope that my pick is wrong because I really would like to see Thug Rose come through.
Yeah, you know what? I
I'm
don't
sorry to
like
cut you off one more, but
Oh, so good.
I just don't like what when you start picking at somebody's mental health from them being fucking sexually abused. Right there, I don't respect you. I don't
I
care
mean,
if
I
it's
have
to
no
sell the
respect for
fight or
that.
not.
But at the same time, I do think that it might get the job done as far as what she's trying to do and make an emotional fighter out of Rose. That's not a good thing. It's tiring. It's just nothing good comes from fighting with a thought other than your fight. No purpose. You don't need a purpose to go in there and fight somebody professionally. You don't need a reason. The reason is that they're in there with you and they're trying to hurt you. You have to, So when you
Yeah, no,
take, if
you're
you can
right.
take all that out, you have an advantage.
You're right. It's just I just think that's pretty douchey. Um,
Just for rooting purposes, yeah, fuck
that's
that.
that's that's pretty douchey. That's low. Like Floyd and Connor didn't even go that low at each other. You know what I mean?
But I would say it's bad if like a human to say that, but I don't think Joanna's human. I really don't. She's like fucking crazy, yo.
So
She's
yeah, I'll go with like I said, I'll go with Rose by some Hail Mary Jiu-Jitsu. I'm thinking late, maybe fourth, fifth round.
I'm gonna
funny as fuck.
disagree. I'm gonna disagree with Tommy here.
Of
Only
course
with
you are.
this. No, only with this though. Where you said that I was gonna pick Joanna.
Really?
I,
You're picking
I
Rose too,
disagree.
huh?
I'm picking Rose, and here's why. First off, she looks like fucking Britney Spears,
Sid?
and she looks like Sid, Britney Spears, Jack from Mass Effect. All right, she looks like a little bit like 11 from Stranger Things. Grew up and learned Muay Thai and Jiu Jitsu, right, and got her other powers taken away. Like
Envy.
we could go on for days, bro. I'm telling you. But here's what I'm thinking. The styles make this matchup. Obviously, styles make fights. Joanna's not a knockout artist. She's not. She gets you, and it's like water breaking into a stone. Right. Eventually, if enough of those droplets hit you, and they're crisp, they're beautiful. I love watching it. Her stuff gets tremendous every time she goes out. Right. But it's still a pellet gun. It's sharp, and they cut you. And in 5 rounds, you'll get fucked up. However, with the style that Rose brings to the table, if she drags her into deep water, I think the jiu-jitsu favors this matchup. The person with the better jiu-jitsu. I think that she can also I really think that she could potentially pull guard and even work something off of there. I don't think she has to go and get that takedown because Joanna's whole game plan is predicated upon stopping the takedown and punishing you. Every breath you take, she's going to punish you. I get that. You know what? She looks like fucking Dracula's daughter. And with this whole mental shit, she's reminding me more and more
Yeah,
that maybe she's not really from Poland. She's from that part of Upper Turkey where the legend really started. But what I'm saying is that I think Rose will her style, if she does, the only thing that goes against that prediction is something that Chris brought up, which is a really good point. If she turns Rose into some wild emotional wreck, like, oh shit, you're
I don't
talking
think
about
she
that.
will. See, that's just the
But
thing.
that's a
I don't
big
think
if
she
that's
because
will.
just
I've
what you
I've seen
think. It
it.
doesn't mean anything.
I've seen it happen with like the only time when Rose really, in my opinion, loses fights is when she tries too much to just go straight forward and hit her head against that stone instead of picking the sides and I'm getting flipped off though.
No, that's Tommy. That's
Oh,
Tommy
okay.
that's getting flipped off.
Oh, okay. But
Why? I'm just sitting here.
no, but
Hey, go fuck
when
yourself.
she goes in, she really just tries to do too much too early. So the way to beat Joanna is to either have one hit knockout power, which fuck at 115 for women.
Mm.
Yeah,
So I mean
it's tough.
whatever, but it's super tough. Is to drag her into deep water and to make her pay with
That's
jujitsu. I
it's got
think it's
upset
possible.
special written all over this one, but for the sake of like keeping track of wins and losses, I can't go against. Where's my beer? Sorry, I
Nice.
can't go against.
Chris just popped his cherry. He's not a virgin anymore.
I'm
Not
telling
my
you,
cherry.
that's
No, no.
Mexican hymen. So I got Namajunas with uh with the jujitsu late as well. And it doesn't even have to be a Hail Mary. I'll disagree slightly there. It could very just well be, grinding on her, having the toughness, not folding, fighting a good fight, and then finding a chink in the armor
No,
down the
scissor me
road.
timbers, huh?
I want
Mhm.
Grinding it
to
out.
piggyback off what you said about one thing. That's something that I didn't really factor in. I'm not going to switch my pick because I still think Joanna has what it takes. Even if she gets into trouble, she could probably fight through it. I just think that Rose has, like I said before, she has a sick attack, man. She doesn't. You're right. She doesn't have to necessarily even pull guard. She could actually, like in the traditional way that you would pull guard. I think that she could actually try to hit submissions when they get in close in the clinch,
Mhm.
and at the worst case scenario, it's pulling guard. Like
Mhm.
it's
Hmm.
not even a traditional guard pull. It's like she hits crazy shit. You actually look at
Tries
her
a flying
highlights.
guillotine or some bullshit, and it
Yeah,
ends up being
or
a guard
flying,
pull.
flying, fucking like take your
Rear
back,
naked,
like
right? Yeah,
you know, like
a flying back take. I
some weird
think
shit out
it's
there, man. And
yeah.
she's very unorthodox, and you can't predict when she's gonna do those things. And it's just, she's good at it. So you are right about that, but that's all I wanted to say. This has upset special, and I'll admit that this is the one where I'm like, Joanna might have some trouble here. If there is anyone in the division that could beat her, it's her. It's Rose.
I got you. I agree. So next up, we have the co-main, and this one I've been waiting for a long time. I'm glad that Cody's back. Is showing him some love if nobody else does. We got Cody Garbrandt.
No love.
No love, exactly. We got Cody Garbrandt versus
Did you mean to
TJ
do that?
Dillashaw. We'll start with Tommy on this one. Thomas, fill us in. What do you got?
Um, you know, if Cody fights TJ the way he fought Dom, and I mean, take the fucking breakdance shit out of it, take all that hokey bullshit out of it.
Don't even let him
No.
have fun. If that's the way he fights, then let him do it.
Yeah, but we've all seen what happens when somebody's showboating that one thing that can happen. Anderson Silva, the goat, knock the fuck
Mm.
out,
Well, I
knock the
think there's a
fuck out.
difference in those two things. I think showboating in a situation where you aren't even winning the fight yet is bad. But when you're like clearly comfortable and like, all right, this guy isn't hurting me, and you felt it,
Yeah,
then
but
by all
it
means have your
always
fun.
takes that one shot that can turn
Of
things
course,
around.
of course.
But if he,
But he was making him look really bad.
but I'm talking about like his striking and everything like that. I think he could beat TJ. I was never really sold on TJ. I was never a fan of TJ. Um,
I'm not a fan of either.
especially now that you're seeing those reports coming out of that guy that was on their team that said like TJ was using PEDs even back in the day.
What, Holdsworth?
Yeah,
Yeah. Oof. Yeah. Those are some damning.
It's tough to take any alpha male word at face value when it's TJ involved, especially now they're fighting an alpha male guy. So I don't really pay much attention to that. He's never failed a test. He's not like super steroid looking. You know,
John Jones never failed a test either until recent.
he actually did, but I don't know. Like you look at TJ, he doesn't look like he's changed much. He looks actually really small to me. Maybe it's because he's off sauce, but he does look like I feel like he's fighting out of a little heavy of a weight class. He's almost like that weight class is Edgar, how he was fighting at 55. I think he could definitely make 25 easily. Maybe not easily, but he could fight at 25. He's got the frame for it. So I think that's his downfall in this fight. I don't know if it's my turn, but
Well,
No,
no,
I
for
pretty
sure.
much said
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think Cody's going to beat him. I think Cody will take it as long as he fights the way he fought Dom and just doesn't let up. Cody will take it. I don't think there's going to be a finish in this fight. It's definitely
what do
going
you think?
5 rounds.
What do you think about the possibility that Cody's not fully healthy? I think that I wouldn't really put too much into that because I don't think he would fight. He's proven that if he wasn't healthy, it's a big fight.
Yeah, I don't know because see, it's kind of scary because he kind of went
Backs are iffy.
he went the holistic route with his back rather than what everybody else does. So
Yeah, but
it's
maybe that's what Kane should have done.
well,
We're
when
also
you're
talking about a big back and a small, but like you're a heavyweight, it's a lot
yeah,
different.
you're also talking about a guy who probably hurt his
Chris
back
knows a
like
lot about different
yeah,
back
but no,
sizes.
you're probably talking about a guy who hurt his back like
Blowing him
putting
out.
cars on cinder blocks
That's
to
you.
take their rims and shit in between fights as opposed to little TJ. You know what I mean?
It's fucked up.
Mm.
You just make a rim. You just make a rims joke because you're Mexican. You fucking asshole.
Really.
Jesus Christ. Fucking
Oh, this is shutting down. Hold on.
yo,
You
Borichinha
might lose me
fighting.
for a
Come back, Chris. And that Chris in his like
I
profile
don't
photo?
think so.
It can't be because that looks
That's got to be Voldemort.
that's like Chris Hansen type Chris. You know, you feel me? Like that's the Predator in full effect. But
But yeah, like
well,
don't
yeah.
you think Omar like it's iffy with Cody. I mean,
I don't think
his
Cody.
hands are unbelievable.
I think Cody could very well. Like I have to disagree with Chris. I hate that I'm doing it while he's not on, but I don't think he was going to say no to two like having this fight booked twice in a row. Do you see where I'm going?
Mhm.
I don't think he would have been like. I think the one no as his first defense was already as ballsy as he was going to get in terms of saying, hey, and I hope for everybody's sake, so we don't get robbed of what could be a classic fight, could very well be the beginning of a goddamn trilogy. If we're that lucky, like these guys could keep passing the baton back and forth. And I'd watch this fight 3 times if it goes the way
Which one
I
of them
think.
swallows it though? That's what I want to know.
Oh, that baton. I gotta say, No Love looks like a biter. So I'm thinking probably TJ is more welcoming. I think just with his boyish charm. And maybe because anytime I see TJ, I always think of him having the little kid voice because of Tommy Tohold. So I'll never ever be able to take TJ like seriously. So Cody could very well be not 100%. I don't know how. I know these guys are crazy athletes, but I always marvel at how anybody could really think they are 100% after serious things with their back, serious enough to have him say, no, I don't want this, $500,000 payday or whatever it is, right? And then he comes back and he's starting to train almost immediately. Like, this guy probably didn't take the rest that he needed. Maybe he didn't need it. Maybe I'm forgetting that, I too, when I was 18 to like 25 was a werewolf, right? So were you. Like, we could all bounce back, I guess. But I don't know how it could be physically possible. Barring that, though, if we have 100% Cody, nobody's got the stopping power that Cody has. I think the margin of error is a lot slimmer for TJ than it would be for Cody, unless we get some head kick action. So I'd have a healthy Cody. So it's almost weird. Like I want to hedge and say after the first round, I'll tell you who my pick is. Just
Yeah,
in terms of
exactly.
if I see something, if he's not moving the same way, or if I see something crazy. Another thing that I wanted to really touch on, I want to get your thoughts on. There's 2 things out of the alpha male camp that disturb me. You touched on one with the Holdsworth. The other one is, did they change up their entire training regimen?
Can you get rid of Voldemort's picture, please?
Sure. It's freaking you out, I guess. I get it. I get it. So, all right. But did you hear the reports? Justin Buchholz was
Yeah, he
saying,
left.
yeah, and that they've completely changed the secret sauce. At Team Alpha
What's
Male.
going on over there at Alpha Male, dude? What is
I
going on?
I don't fucking understand it because you know what? You know this. If there's a formula for victory and it gets you a fucking championship after how long were they trying for that championship? You're telling me that the very next defense off of that championship, you finally get to the top of that mountain, right? How many alpha male guys have been trying for championships? They were known as the bridesmaid, group there. But he finally gets it, and then the next camp to defend, you're suddenly gonna change shit up. The fuck is going on? I don't like that. If that's
And
true,
where's Buchholz going? That's what I'd like to know.
yeah, like where's he going? He grounded out with them for a team that tried to pose itself as like we're team loyalty and TJ is a dickhead and him and Bang, went off and he cheated on us with Bang, and Bang's his side piece and he went off and did all this shit with him and he moved out of the state, blah, 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 blah. Like you heard the same podcast I did. Like they bought a new facility. They're not the same cohesive thing that they used to be where like, now we're making it big. So we all got our own houses and we're trying to move
Yeah,
into
they all
better
lived on
parts
the
of
same
town,
street.
right? The same street, like next to each other. Like basically, they pulled their resources and tried to live like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like Schwarzenegger is very famous for, he said, "Fuck my neighbors." I bought every street on the block,
Every house on the block.
every house on the block just to park my Hummers. Basically, that crazy bastard. But that was always intriguing to me. Master Toddy couldn't get back in the fucking country. There's a bunch of things that I don't know if everything's okay in paradise. And it's really the worst time possible because if any team has been striving for a belt for so long and they finally got it, like I want to see Alpha Male
Well,
do
if
okay.
it's any team that's wanting to beat Dominic Cruz,
Yeah.
and none of them could do it except for Cody.
Yeah. And you're
TJ
gonna
couldn't
change
do it.
You're gonna change things on him?
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know, man. Remember I told you after Cody had won that belt that I didn't think that Cody was going to be with Alpha Male. Remember that?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Chris was like, "You're out of your fucking mind." I think that if he loses that belt, you might see that come into fruition.
What, him just up and leaving and saying, goodbye? I think that's very possible because I think that.
And if it does happen on the vidcast, I'm going to do a fucking dance on the vidcast with a sign that says I was right and Chris was wrong, and just dance and just dance. And, like I'm dancing right now, and just dance and just
I
dance.
might want to have it happen just because I want to see that dance again. And I'm not mad in the least at that dance, but I could see that happening also because I think Garbrandt he's loyal. He's a good squad member. But if you remember the podcast as well, the Joe Rogan podcast with him and Uriah.
Oh, Voldemort's back.
Here we go. Beautiful. Come on back. And I'll just end on this point and then we'll get did we get Chris's pick before he left?
Yeah.
On this fight?
On Cody? No.
No, we didn't. We didn't at all. So my last point. You did, right?
Like, I'm not sure if it's my turn, but
No, okay. But then I'll still wrap it up though. In terms of I think you could see Cody. Oh, that's what I wanted to ask you. So Chris, what do you think about that prediction again? Tommy's saying that if Cody loses, he might just split with Team Alpha Male, especially with all the turmoil going on.
I mean, yeah, Team Alpha Male's a mess. Uriah's nuts, bro. I think almost in a weird way, once I watched The Ultimate Fighter, I kind of started leaning towards TJ's side on like what went on with that whole thing. Not that I
But
really
wait, don't you remember when I said that Cody is not going to stay with Team Alpha Male, and you told me I was wrong and I was nuts, and what do I have, a crystal ball? Remember that?
I do remember, and to be honest, I have no reservation saying, wow, I was wrong about that, because it's not like it's that crazy of a thing to be wrong about. At the time he was repping hard, but it's not like Cody left already. You're acting like your fucking prediction came true.
The dance, Omar.
Pump your
the
brakes.
dance, Omar.
I would
that
be
dance
super
will
excited.
happen.
I'd be super
that
excited.
Dance will happen.
that dance does
But do
happen.
you
So
hear what I'm saying though? It has not yet. So don't pat yourself. Push the money yet, Tommy.
and now and now the fight we've been waiting to jump into. We jumped into it at the beginning of the show. We got my man Michael
I
Bisping.
really want to eat this fucking cookie. I gotta wait until we're done. Go ahead.
I got you. So we got Bisping versus St. Pierre. Who knows? It might help with the dynamic if it's the cookie I'm thinking about. But it's
It
Bisping
is.
versus GSP. We'll start with Chris in case you got to get to
Yeah, he wants to go on a tangent with this, so just let him go.
I don't even. I think that you want me to go on a tangent, so you could. I just think it's simple. GSP is in trouble. Woo, woo. He's in trouble, bro. There's no doubt about that. Bisping, like I said, he's got tools to keep as far as he's definitely. I mean, Bisping's been in there with some fucking tough dudes, man. Fuck that. Dan Henderson's a better, if not better, as good of an MMA wrestler as GSP. He's a bigger guy. Fine, say what you want about the Henderson fight. It doesn't matter. Bisping's been in there with him, with these guys. So it's like he's not. I don't think that GSP is gonna enjoy the same advantages he's used to enjoying. He's fighting a bigger man, and Bisping has fought some tough dudes, man. Like you talk about Chael, say he's not this, he's not that, but he was a good wrestler, and Bisping hung with him, and fought Rashad. Wrestle fuck for 5 for in that fight. Guys that I don't think GSP is going to bring anything to the table. I don't give a fuck who he's training with. I don't give a fuck how many blowjobs he's given Tommy in the past fucking 3 months. I don't care about any of that. He's going to get boxed up, kickboxed up.
Wow, Chris, as usual, I think you are wrong. I think you are so wrong
about everything except the blowjobs, guys. Tommy admits that.
No, there are no no. That's no.
at those cookouts.
See how flustered he got?
At those cookouts that he always talks about, I'm thinking
Yeah.
might be a lot of wiener on the
It was
menu.
just like
Hey. It was like Paul Manafort discussing like exactly what happened with Russia and Trump. He's like, well, that's kind of what we said. If that's what he said, that's our position.
It sounded like you had his fucking whatever.
Hey, no, not yet. So please,
No, not yet.
There's still children.
Haven't you noticed how nice I've been this entire time?
Please.
I have actually, and I've been coming at you a little bit.
It's okay. But yeah, I seriously think GSP is going to surprise the living shit out of everybody who's talking about the ring rust and things like that. I think he's going to come out. Do I think he's going to try and wrestle? Fuck, of course. Of course. That's GSP's bread and butter. Take you down. That's his bread and butter. He's going to take him down. But
Tommy predicts GSP by WrestleFuck. Aren't
But-
you jealous?
But I think GSP
The slander.
holding him down, I think he's just going to start lighting him up with a lot of elbows. I think Bisping's face is going to end up looking like it did
When you refer
after
to
the
GSP
Henderson
and
fight.
You say I in the beginning. You have to be like I, and then say what you're gonna say.
Okay. Dude. Oh, boy.
Yeah, I think this is going to be like GSP's coming out party. I think you're going to see a GSP that we haven't seen in a long time. I think you're going to see the GSP.
What, like Kevin Spacey? Like, what the fuck are we talking about here, Tom?
No, I think you're going to see the
So you're just
GSP
basically
that was.
gonna see any version of GSP because we haven't seen any version of GSP.
That's not
in a
true
long
at all. His fights with Matt Hughes. Are you kidding me?
Those are exciting.
Those are
I'm just
boring
saying, like,
fights?
just
No,
in
those are
general, like
exciting.
GSP hasn't fought in 4 years, so no, none of these fans even seen anything of GSP.
Yeah.
Apparently.
I don't think you're going to see the GSP that fought Josh Koscheck and Nick Diaz, where he just made them look stupid with his wrestling and jabs. I think he's actually going to go for it with Bisping. I really do. I think he's going to try and knock Bisping the fuck out because for
So you're
some
gonna
like
see the
GSP.
GSP that fought which guy? John Fitch. You're gonna see like which fight are you pointing out? The Matt Hughes
Oh
fight
wait,
before he won
GSP
a
was
belt.
going for it against Condit.
So
He was hitting
maybe you're
Condit with a
right,
lot.
Tommy. Maybe to see the beltless GS. That's the last. If I could really think about it, when he fought Sarah, which I don't think that was really me. As good as Sarah was, that was a mismatch, and it was the biggest upset in UFC history. Right? We could agree to that, or if not one of. Right?
No, it was
GSP
because I
fought
don't
Matt
think
Hughes and
there was
Fire,
not
and
one
like
person
he fought to
that was
finish.
given. Well, there was not one person that was given Hughes a shot or Sarah a shot.
Of course.
Not one.
So and rightfully so, and we've seen why in the second fight. And that's not a knock on Matt Serra. I love Matt Serra, but that was
Well,
you know
Matt
it's
said
just
it best. It was like what we had talked about before. The constant when he would take Matt down and Matt would get back up and take him down again and get back up.
and he
It
was just
just
a bigger
you just
man,
get
and he was just like a
exhausted.
far bigger and better athlete. And that with the same skill sets, with the same training, when you're just a bigger, better athlete, it's tough to overcome that.
Yeah, but for the way he was able to to best Hughes on the ground with Hughes's
So
farm
maybe
boy
hey,
wrestling.
look, I hope GSP brings it, bro. I want to see a good fight. I just don't think he's gonna. I think that you know
I think the no
I don't
belt thing, it's like he's got no pressure on him now because it doesn't really matter now. Before Conor McGregor of the UFC, like Dana White rode him
Yep.
hard.
Now, can we?
Dana
Can I
rode him
ask you guys
hard.
something? And to be honest here, does GSP look like he's in? Like he looks older to me. He looks like I used to look at
No,
GSP almost like he was fucking granite, but like in the athletic way. He looks very like thick in his torso, way thicker. Like he
well,
just
because
looks like he's.
you're seeing him heavier now
Yeah,
than you're
but I
used to
don't
seeing
know.
him.
I don't know how much heavier. Like I could put on and lose 10 pounds in fucking a course of 10 days.
Well, yeah, but I bet you
He can
he's
too.
not. Now I bet you he's
Be
not
heavier and
weighing.
lighter throughout his career. He's been fluctuating, you know, between he could have fought at middleweight his whole career. He was big enough.
I think
And he
he's
would have had
walking
to
around
cut weight.
heavier now than he used to because he didn't like to cut weight. He used to like to
Yeah,
stay right within that range.
I
Now I
understand
think he's walking around
that.
heavier.
I understand that. But if his plan is to stay at middleweight, which I don't think it is, I don't think his plan is to stay anywhere. I think he's done. But I don't know, man. Just be. I'm not even talking about his bigger, his more. I'm just talking about like he's got like the almost like the former fighter look, if that makes sense.
I think if he wins this fight, they're going to have him fight Woodley
So he's got to get back down to 70. So what like it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up to me. I'm
because
curious
it'll
about
be a
it.
money fight. I
Yeah,
mean,
but
what's
is
Woodley
he
going to
gonna fight
fight?
Woodley at
Kobe
what weight?
Covington? That's not money.
At what weight? So GSP's gonna go down to be the two-weight world champ
Yep.
on 2 fights back. That's so whack. Oh my goodness. Oh.
But it'll make money.
We're gonna see the GSP that fought Dave Strasser. You cocksuckers. All right. That's the GSP that we're gonna fucking see. It's gonna be vintage
I want to see
2000,
GSP fight Marty Cohen.
2005.
He is. He's
Speaking
fighting Michael Bisping.
speaking of fight, yeah, speaking of cocksuckers.
Touche.
There you go. Right? Bang. Bang bang. He
Touche.
he hit him twice. I just think I've never been high on Bisping. I just never have. I mean, I think part of it was the fact that he spit on one of my countrymen, so I want to see him die in a fucking fire. Piece of shit, son of a bitch that he is. That notwithstanding, I think that GSP just has a better tool set. He's been where he's been training is if I had, to guide his career in UFC career mode, if I was going to say, okay, he's great at getting him down, let me send him and have him focus on exactly what we need to do to have him finish, right? And I only had a couple of attribute points to spend. I send him to the Danaher Death Squad, which is exactly where the fuck he went, where he's been polishing the tools. And if he's going to finish him, which I think he is, he's going to submit this motherfucker. All right.
How awesome was that picture of John Danaher, GSP, the rest of the
Guys,
Danaher
get
Death
ready.
Squad?
Get ready, guys. Tommy, I don't mean to interrupt. You're gonna hear some serious ball sack gargling in the next fucking 5 minutes.
And it's merited.
Yeah,
That you got to put some respect on the name here. It's
because
merited
I'm
in
not
this
even
sense.
done with who was in that picture. Freddie
That room
Roach
was
and
full of
Faraz
killers.
Sahabi. Are you
It's
kidding
full of
me?
animals. Like there was crazy training partners. All
That's a
right,
fucking training camp
who the
right
fuck
there.
is Bisping training with? All right, like seriously, what Anthony Joshua? I don't know who the fuck is British and good,
None of
fighting
those
wise.
guys. Come on.
Michael
I
Venom
think that
Page,
Bisping is more than proven his worth and
durability.
his
He's proven
yeah.
that he can outlast people. You know what? He's good at taking a beating and not taking steroids and then taking another beating. All right. He gave up an eye for the game, which it makes him the Odin
I don't
of
want to hear
MMA.
anybody
God
question
bless him.
Bisping's toughness, his dedication,
His not. I will
anything
not
like that. He's
question
a
any of
fucking
that.
game ass fighter, and he's gonna
That's
beat
fine.
GSP.
All right, but he's that.
I just think he fell ass backwards into a title shot, and
Good for him. So did. Like, come on, let's get going on that. How many guys did? I think Weidman did too. You think that Bisping didn't deserve a title shot, and Weidman did when he got his? Let's be honest.
how
Who
did
was
Bisping
Weidman's
deserve a
biggest
title
winner for
shot?
that
he
point was Mark
capitalized on
Munoz.
the opportunity, but I
Yeah,
think
he
that
capitalized.
kills him
Yeah,
in a
he
rematch.
capitalized on the fact that Luke Rockhold, when Rockhold won that belt, he was so high on himself. I don't even think he really thought of himself as like the
The
champ.
only
He
thing he was
just
thinking about was Demi Lovato's vagina. All right,
Yo,
during that
whatever.
fight.
We're talking about Luke Rockhold, solid fighter. Like we're not talking about a bum. But what I'm saying is, I don't care about guys getting gifted title shots. Cody didn't deserve his title shot. He's the champion. You
And
know,
he
no,
I can
no, no.
name a
capitalized.
bunch of guys.
He capitalized on
What
it
I
with
mean by fell ass backwards into the title shot is not fell ass backwards into the title shot. He fell ass backwards into actually winning it. Like Rockhold was just like went in there like it was a
Rockhold
fucking
lost.
joke.
Bisping didn't
Well,
win.
Yeah,
that's don't make that mistake because that's what happens when you make that mistake against a guy like Bisping. He's a fucking legit ass fighter and he will make you pay. I don't think
because I'm
GSP is dumb
sorry,
enough
he
to do that.
shouldn't
I
he
truly
shouldn't
don't.
have that belt now. His first title defense, he lost.
Okay.
He lost.
He fights Whitaker, he
Whatever.
gets
I'm neither
smoked.
here nor that.
Right? He
Oh
fights.
yeah,
I don't
absolutely.
He
even give
fights
a fuck if this
GSP.
fight was for a belt. Take the belt out of it. These two guys are gonna fight. It's that simple. That's it. The belt is just
I still think
semantics.
GSP wins because we're gonna see the GSP that beat Dave Strasser up like he was a fucking old man. All right, he hit a judo flip on him, and I think Dave Strasser is still getting disability from Canada for taking the fucking shot. All right, he fucking threw him through the goddamn canvas. I remember that fight, guys. I know you guys do too. All right, hit him with the little fucking. I think it was an Uchimata, and he just said, "You know what? Hold this. I'm gonna wash you, you old man." He was
Now, if
weird and
you're gonna
bold.
ask me who will beat Whitaker, that's a tough one.
Oh fuck no, GSP doesn't beat Whitaker.
If it was GSP and
GSP
Whitaker,
don't
I
want
might
no
be
parts
leaning
of the
towards Whitaker.
185 division,
No.
bro. This is like a fucking money grab and thinking.
This is a money grab, but you know, I want to ask you both this question, right? I think I posted it. He said something about GSP. I mean, said something about this weight cut. He's talked about the weight cut or whatever, and I'm just like, to 185. He's saying that like this cut's even difficult at 185. How the fuck does that
Because
work?
he's probably walking around at like 212.
It's crazy, man.
And he's older now than he was the last time he had to cut weight. It's not easy.
It is a
Well,
big
because
difference.
before he
Now there's
wasn't
no
cutting
IVs.
weight. He even
And he's not
admitted
going to be
that.
able to hydrate right, and like the things that he was able to do. This is a lot. A lot has changed. A lot has changed. And GSP, I know I'm not disrespecting his skill set. He could easily come in here and prove me wrong. I'm not denying that, right? But I think that too much disrespect is being flown towards Bisping's skill set, and I have to cape up for my man because I've always been on
Well,
Bisping's
Bisping
side.
deserves it because he's a fucking douchebag.
So what? Who the fuck cares if he's a douchebag? He's a fighter. He's not a douchebag, first of all. It's a character he plays.
It's just a douchebag.
Cool. I don't care. I'm not fucking. He's not marrying my daughter. He's fucking fighting GSP.
Yeah, but people like fighters by their character. So he's a douchebag.
I do too.
People
I
don't
like
like him.
douchebag fighters.
You do.
I think that's a great note to kind of end things on.
And it's funny because the only douchebag fighter that's ever been a champion that Chris likes is Connor. The Diaz brothers never
And we're
touched
talking
UFC
about
gold.
Michael Bisping right now, who's currently the champion.
champion,
Get your
yeah.
fucking head out of
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Cover it up. Cover up that dumbass comment with like,
He's got-
he doesn't
he's-
count.
Can I get a
He's
hit
got
and
a
miss?
DC's championship.
Can I get a swing
He's
and
got a
miss,
Daniel Cormier
Chris?
championship.
Can you throw something up in the air and
Yeah.
swing at it? again? Because that was exactly. Come on, Tommy.
That's
All
just
right.
like when Chris played baseball too.
You're
Swinging
reaching.
and
Oh,
strike three.
man. 10:33.
Damn, Tommy, you just got strike 2. If you swing and miss again,
He's
then
out.
it's strike 3.
Exactly. There we go. You know, INS chased his math skills away. The little Asian that does his math for
It's
him.
after 10:30. Omar Cut doesn't diss me.
I got you. Yeah, that's true. We gotta wrap this up. So, guys, Monday, we'll be back to discuss who's right, who's wrong, whatever craziness happened. Probably the lack of sales. I mean, sadly.
Be right on fucking. We gotta start raising the stakes on these things. Not to cut you off, Omar. Like
Sig
with our
bets,
predictions and shit.
av bets,
Yeah,
or
just
post them.
little like avatar bets or like like bets. We could do and we just have a little more fun with this.
A little more on the line. I like it. I think we should. So we'll be back.
That we'll discuss it all.
Exactly. We'll get the particulars, but I think the next major one we should probably put something on. Like, we have to like put makeup on and take a.
Know there's a card coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some fucking preparation. I feel like that's incredible. So
say word.
So to kind of kick us off here, enjoy
we
the
do have
flights.
a guest Monday.
Yes, Monday we have Eddie Truck Gordon joining us. What's he gonna be? He's got a book out, right, Tommy?
Yeah, he's got a book that's coming out. I didn't ask him too much about it because I wanted him to tell it on the show, but it's going to be coming out pretty soon. Have him come on and talk about the event. So that should be a lot of fun, and maybe
we got a local guy talking about that's good.
And maybe he could tell us because he keeps hinting about fighting. He keeps hinting about it. I don't ask him because I want him to come on and say it. So maybe there's something brewing there too. So we'll find out Monday night.
If anybody can get that out of him, it's Tommy. I know he's persistent, like a motherfucker.
I would like to give a shout out to my woman crush Wednesday, Diana. I see you, all over the gram.
It is Wednesday. It is Wednesday. How'd she do in the Instagram? How'd she do in the grappling competition?
I believe that was a draw.
I got you. It was tough though. If I recall, they were going back and forth.
Events. So Aljamain was at the grappled on the same event.
It's good, man.
So she's getting her name out there a little bit. It's good.
Absolutely. You're gonna be pro soon, and then you're gonna be part of the entourage.
Ride that wave to the top.
I'm telling you, you're gonna be part of that entourage.
But by then she'll already be with a fighter, and he'd missed his window.
No, he's gonna be the manager. That's how he's gonna work. He's gonna work the Paul Heyman angle, and then we'll see what happens.
I'm like, look, that guy's no good for your career.
Exactly. It's not good to be seen with a guy on your Instagram. Okay, because it's just like they didn't want Elvis getting married. So they don't want nobody fucking having anything like that. So Monday we'll have Eddie on. We'll discuss the fights. It'll be a good show, regular time, right, guys? 9:00, and then have him call a little bit after. So for Tommy, the Reverend Tommy D.
Good night, fuckers.
for Chris, the Lady Killer Gucci.
Tommy, go fuck yourself.
There we go.
Fucking kidney stone Chris over here.
Oh no! Come, stop! Don't bring that up.
He struck out. That's it.
Motherfucker.
That was backwards K too. You just got struck out looking, bro.
I'm El Professor Omar Sangarima. We'll see you guys on Monday.